She said what now?
And you just said that on camera. This going viral.
I just want to thank all my new subscribers. Thank you so much for helping me pass 100. If you haven't subscribed, hopefully I can earn it today. So guys, last night KOHRS made a video. It was a message to all apes. Go check out his channel, obviously, if I'm sure most of you know him. But he was basically pulling some points from Charles Payne's monologue the other night, where he was talking about this lady Mara Gay from the New York, I believe she's from the New York Times. She's an editor. And I'd heard about this story, but, you know, this is a lot of political stuff. But it really has a lot to do with this AMC community and the movement. And when I saw the parallels and Charles brought them to light, I figured, you know what, I'm going to do a video on this. And I think what he said is exactly true. And we are proving people wrong with our movement. And I'm going to tell you why in this video. Gorilla Gang, good afternoon. It is Sunday, June 13th, 2021. And I just want to say real quick before I play this clip, this community is absolutely amazing. We are very lucky that we are such a diversified group who all have one common goal. And it's just remarkable the things we've been able to pull off in the last 6 months. And I'm really happy to be part of this community. And, you know, like I said, I didn't really want to get into this because it is kind of political, and I'm not really that political. And, you know, I believe that everyone's entitled to their opinion. But Charles brought up some good points, and so I want to reiterate them because we literally have the fight of our lives coming up this week. I mean, this is do or die. So I think it's important that as we look forward to this next week coming up, that we think about what's happened in the past and the fight that we have on our hands, how important it is, and why I think we'll be victorious. All right, so let's get right into the video. Cue the clip. Here comes Charles.
I love the American flag. I feel pride when I think of it rising on the flag of Iwo Jima. I feel safer when I see a flag flying on a street that I've never walked on before. When I see the American flag, any situation for me automatically gets better. Now, earlier this week, there was shock and outrage when MSNBC contributor and New York Times editorial board member Mara Gay said that she was, quote, disturbed to see dozens of American flags flown by Donald Trump supporters during her weekend trip to Long Island, New York.
And I was really disturbed. I saw, dozens and dozens of pickup trucks with, explicatives against.
Mind you, Mara is an editor for the biggest newspaper in the United States and doesn't even have a basic handle in the English language. Explicatives is not a word.
Joe Biden on the back of them, Trump flags, and some cases just dozens of American flags, which is also just disturbing because essentially the message was clear. It was, this is my country. This is not your country. I own this.
So Mara clearly doesn't mince her words here. She's pretty clear on her feelings about what the American flag represents. Not this country and the diversity of it, but she feels it's something evil associated with Trump. If that's the case, then I have to say, or I have to ask, why would you vote for Joe Biden, who campaigned heavily on the fact that he was going to have wide open borders and no more of that evil Trump wall? Why would you want to subject the poorest of the poor to be able to come to this horrible country that you can't stand? I mean, why? These people have enough problems. Now you want to bring them to America so they can deal with Trump voters and people flying American flags off the back of their trucks? I mean, Joe did. Well, let Joe tell you.
Trump campaigned on build that wall. Are you willing to tear that wall down?
No, there will not be another foot of wall constructed in my administration. Number one. Number two, what I'm going to focus on, the fact is that somebody.
On the very day the guy you propped up and voted for became president, he signed an executive order to shut down wall construction and open up the borders. And you know what? People listened. They came. I think it's a valid question to ask, What other country around the world do you see thousands of people racing and pushing each other over and trampling each other, fighting police and killing each other to try to get into? What other country on the planet can you point to a news report of people like that? They're not even trying to get into America. Those people are coming from Central America trying to get into Mexico to come here. I would love to know if you had another example. I'll wait. Tell me one. If I'm wrong, let me know. Let me just take a minute to say one thing about this community that are all rallied under this same flag that everyone despises. We have people from every race, culture, creed, religion, background. It's the most diverse community I've ever seen. This community has black people, white people, Spanish people, Asian people. And yeah, I'm counting Melissa Lee. As far as I'm concerned, after her appearance 2 weeks ago, when she made a reference to naked shorts, she's an ape. There are people from the Eastern Bloc, from the Eastern Mediterranean, East Jerusalem, the Upper East Side. I can go on. It's the most diverse community I've ever seen. And I'm just talking about the YouTube creators right now that are diversified. Think about the tens of millions of people around the world who have been affected by this movement, how different they all are. And I haven't heard one thing about racism or sexism, color or religion. Nothing negative like that. Yeah, there's some bickering going on, but we're fighting amongst ourselves about stupid things, about what's the next play, or is this person FUD, or is he a shill or a bot? We're fighting about dumb stuff. I haven't seen one piece of evidence, and if I'm wrong, tell me, but I haven't seen one piece of evidence of any type of racism or cultural divide. We are all just a huge community of like-minded people who have come together with a mission to take down the corruption and manipulation of Wall Street and the stealing of a generation's worth of wealth from the poorest to the richest. You know, looking back in history, in 2008, when people literally took to the streets to occupy Wall Street or Tremont Street, depending on where you live, they literally had to occupy the streets, right? And they were unsuccessful with making change. What happened? The banks got a bailout. The CEOs got all kinds of incentives and bonuses. I mean, huge payouts they got. And we got robbed. And now here we are, some 13 years later, back at the same fight again. We're back at the front door, and we're knocking. And people are waking up. They're listening to us. Thank God. I think, guys, there's a good chance this week that we are at the beginning of the end. That's why this week coming up is so important, because we're going to get everything but the kitchen sink thrown at us. I guarantee you that. Because there's high expectations coming in. There's a lot of hype heading towards the 18th. So we really got to stay focused.
But I think we've become far too embroiled in efforts to rewrite and to relitigate our past, and it now threatens our future. The other big issue is the notion of marginalizing any American, to be quite frank with you, any human being for that matter. The last couple of weeks, I've watched the media dismiss, mock, and openly root against individual investors that have created their own approach to the stock market. Their crime? Well, they're trying to get a bite of the apple, all of that amazing wealth generated by the stock market without being pawns of the power brokers who, by the way, always get paid. Criticism of these folks who proudly call themselves apes has gone so far beyond opinion that much of the financial media is now invested in the failure of these renegades. When I say invested, though, I don't mean they've gone short themselves, because they never walk the walk. They don't put up their own cash. It's their egos that are on the line.
Gang, that's such a valid point. Do not underestimate these guys' egos. Money is a huge motivator, right, for people to do crazy things. But these guys, Charles is so right, their egos are on the line. If we're going to make them look stupid, they want no part of that. So they are going to fight us to the death. It's going to be trial by combat.
Don't forget, they already look dumb for thinking that the revolution was over earlier this year when they thought they were dancing on the graves of those Reddit investors. To the powers that be, stop marginalizing people who have different opinions and new ideas, because that is not the American way. Yes, I love the American flag because under its banner, Mara Gay was able to speak her mind, and that is a blessing we should never take lightly. I love the American flag because this is the greatest nation. It was built by underdogs, people who were dismissed out of hand, people not given a chance. I love the American flag because people born in bondage, people born in poverty, people who came to this country with nothing were able to make an impact, and now their heirs stand on their shoulders. Always remember this part of that famous song, and this to be our motto: in God we trust, in the Star-Spangled Banner, in triumph we shall wave, over the land of the free, in the home of the brave.
Guys, Charles is right. We are the underdogs. There's a lot of people and a lot of money betting against us in this movement. They don't have faith. They don't have conviction. And you know what? That's fine. They've been doubting us for 6 months. And we've proved them wrong every step of the way. And let me just say this about this community. Because tell me and point to one other country in the world where you're going to find YouTube creators who are as diversified as the ones we see right here in our own country in the U.S. The great thing about this country is you can say whatever you want. So Mara Gay can hate on the flag and everything about it. But I think that's what makes this country so great, is you're not going to find this kind of diversity in, say, Finland or Cameroon or South Korea or China. You're just not. And I think that's what makes us great as a community and as a country. And, you know, just keep in mind that how big this week is, and that we are proving everyone wrong. We can't take on all the problems of the world, and this country has its problems. But you know what? It's one fight at a time. This week it's Wall Street. Maybe next week it's the rest of them. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. Thanks so much for joining me. This is Ape Nation. I'm the Massalorian, and I'm out.